and my gearbox did basically just crack in half. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to tell you about 5 things that I wasted money on in my 20s. So the first one is one that is pretty obvious and that a lot of people have also done. It is wasted money on gym memberships that I didn't use. And in particular, this one is a gym membership with Virgin Gym. So one of the reasons why I consider this one of the biggest wastes of money is because in my area there's loads and loads of gyms, starting from your cheapest ones that start around at £10 per month all the way up to your premium gym like Virgin, which was about £45. The difference with Virgin is that they actually had a pool, and I actually managed to convince myself that if I got a Virgin Gym membership that I would actually use the pool. I didn't end up using it. So not only did I choose the most expensive gym in my area, I also chose the gym that you had to sign up for a 12-month contract, and also I didn't even end up using the main service that they offered. I think a sign of things to come was that on the day that I went to sign up for my membership, I went into the office, signed all the papers, and then instead of going upstairs and actually working out, I literally left, got in the car, and drove to the McDonald's that was right next door. To be honest, I did use the gym, but at £45 a month, there is absolutely no way I got full value out of that gym membership. And the smart thing to do would have been to go and sign up to one of the cheaper gyms that were about £20 a month with no contract. So the second thing that I want to talk about is about buying my first car. So just a little bit of a background story. My first car was a little 52 plate Vauxhall Corsa. I basically bought it from some guy in this random estate in Leeds, and it cost me 750 quid. Now, the first thing that went wrong with this car is when I bought it, I didn't realize that it had some special alloy things on them. So when it came to insuring the car, it actually ended up costing me even more because the car had non-standard wheels on it, which I hadn't even bothered to look at. And this was just kind of like a long list of things of why this car became a money pit. One of the stupidest things that I did really was when I decided that I wanted to buy a car, I had done absolutely zero research into what sort of things to look for. I hadn't even decided what my priority was with this car. Did I want it to be a good looking car? Did I want it to be reliable? I just had no priorities. That is not how you go through a car buying process at all. So yeah, it cost me 750 quid, and unsurprisingly, over the years in repairs, it cost me an absolute fortune. It probably cost me on average about 500 or 600 pounds a year just to do repairs on it because it kept breaking down, and I had it in the garage so many times. And this one time, I can't even remember what went wrong with it, but my bill should have been around 800 pounds, but my mechanic basically scratched loads of things off the bill because he just looked at me and said he actually felt sorry for me. Another nightmare that I had with it was one day, for whatever reason, I had the car for quite a few years at this point, but I finally decided to get rid of the alloys on it so that when it came to insuring it, I wouldn't have to pay that extra premium. So basically what I did is I went to this place that's a few miles out of Leeds, got the standard wheels put on the car, drove the car home. A couple of weeks later, car went in for its MOT and completely failed. At that point, it would have been so expensive to get it fixed that I ended up just completely scrapping it after I just spent about 200 quid on brand new wheels for it so that I wouldn't have to pay that extra insurance premium, and then I just scrapped the car. So it was a complete waste of money. It was basically a complete money pit, this car. And I feel like when I bought this car, I should have really done some research about reliability and what brands are reliable. That would have saved me literally thousands of pounds if I'd done something as basic as that. Now, after that car died, got another car. This time did do a little bit more research about what to look for when buying a car. Got another Corsa, a slightly newer one, 2008 model. I think this time I've done better. I have done better. Having said that, I was in Manchester once and I was about to pull out into this very, very busy junction, and my gearbox did basically just crack in half. So that wasn't great. It cost £150 for me to get towed back to Leeds because I didn't have breakdown cover. I know, stupid. And yeah, that was a £700 repair bill. So yeah. I'd like to say that I've been unlucky with cars, but I think it's maybe just down to my own stupidity and not looking at cars that are specifically reliable. So yeah, I've literally wasted thousands of pounds on repairs, or paying for more expensive insurance because I had stupid alloys on my car. Just me and cars so far has been a complete money pit. And I hope that moving into my 30s, I can make much better buying decisions when it comes to cars. My next one is interest. And more specifically, I mean credit card interest. If you've watched any of my previous videos where I talk about credit cards and balance transfers and all that kind of thing, then you'll know that I used to have a credit card with quite a high balance. I've actually paid hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds in interest over the years. In the end, I ended up doing a balance transfer, and this allowed me to pay off my debt much quicker than I would have otherwise. And it then saved me a ton of money in interest. But the point is, when I had that credit card and I was paying 50 quid a month in interest, I just didn't even bother to Google, was there a way that I could get rid of this or just anything at all. I just kind of paid it month in, month out, and it was just stupid, really. All I had to do was Google it and I would have seen loads of solutions of what I could have done. It just took me so long to do it that it chucked away a ton of money in interest. I'm not going to talk about too much in this video because I already covered it in a couple of previous videos, but basically, if you have debt, don't just sit on it. Try to see if there's ways that you can pay it down quicker. If you want to watch my balance transfer video, then that could be really helpful if you've got quite a high balance on a credit card. Interest is money that is being thrown out the window. So if the quicker you can get rid of your balance, the better. Clothes. I have spent so much money on clothes in my 20s, and I don't know why, because I'll spend money on clothes and then I'll always just wear the same things. For example, what you're seeing here, this is literally my favorite jumper. This is just a black jumper from Topman. It must have cost about 15 quid, and it's one of my favorite jumpers, and it's one of the things that I like wearing the most. So I've just spent loads and loads and loads and loads of money on clothes that in the end I don't even wear, and then whenever I have a sort of clean out, then I have to end up donating most of it. Now, I will say that I'm much better for it now. This was more in my sort of early 20s, and it doesn't just go for clothes, it goes for quite a lot of things. Sometimes you're just a bit bored, so you just think, oh, I'll go out shopping and buy things, even though you don't necessarily need them. I've just done it so many times. You just think, I'll just pop into River Island or whatever, see something that you like, buy it, and then might only wear it once or twice, and then you just think, why did I even buy this? So yeah, in total, literally hundreds of pounds worth of clothes that I don't really like to wear, and I've ended up donating. But yeah, this doesn't just apply to clothes. This can apply to pretty much anything these days. It's so easy just to go on Amazon and start scrolling until you basically find something that you want to buy, even though before you went on Amazon, you might not have thought about buying it. It's just about just being more intentional about what I actually want, rather than just thinking, I just fancy buying things. And to be honest, I find it much better these days. I've got less things, but the things that I do have, the things that I actually really want and I really like, rather than just having huge quantities of things. And it's taken quite a few clear outs to get to this point, but I think it's been good. Parking tickets. And when I say parking ticket, I mean one parking ticket, not multiple. It's not like I've paid thousands of pounds in parking fines or whatever. I'm literally talking about one parking ticket that I got. And the reason why it annoys me so much is because once I tell you, you're gonna be like, you're such an idiot. Basically what happened is I parked in, I think it was in a Staples car park once, and I must have stayed over the time limit or whatever. I ended up getting a parking ticket in the post, you know, one of those standard ones. It's like 70 quid or whatever. But if you pay within 30 days, then it will be £30. And I remember speaking to my friend, and he told me that, oh, well, don't worry about that. It's not enforceable. And I said, are you sure? And he was like, yep, yeah, private land, not enforceable, blah, blah, blah. So me, being stupid, I listened to him, didn't pay the ticket, and fast forward, it must have been at least a couple of years. Randomly, one day I get a letter in the post, and I don't know if it had been passed through debt recovery or whatever, but basically I had this letter that said, you didn't pay this parking fine, now you owe about £200. I paid it, and I was just so annoyed with myself that I just listened to my friend and I hadn't paid the ticket. All I had to do was, again, in Google, just researching myself just to double check what he was saying. And now instead of paying a £30 fine, it was 200 odd pounds. I could have looked into it myself, but I just thought it's fine, he knows what he's talking about. And I think the funniest thing about this is and it was when I was thinking about the topic of this video and what I was going to talk about, I then remembered that the first time I'd met this friend, he was actually a friend of a friend, and he was over at my house. And the first time I met him, he was sat in my living room. I go downstairs and he's sat there and he's got loads of parking fines around him. And it turned out that he'd spent all day paying off literally about 10 or 20 parking fines that amounted to about $1,000 or over $1,000. When I remembered that, and he's the one who told me that my parking fine wasn't enforceable, you put two and two together and you just realize, how could you be that stupid? But I was, and I listened to what he said, and I didn't look into it myself, and it ended up costing me over £200. And to be fair, I think about it and I laugh about it now, but it's just such a stupid way to waste money, and it could have easily been avoided. So yeah, that is 5 things that I wasted money on in my 20s. Dumb ways that I wasted money in my 20s. But enough of my rambling. I would like to know, what things have you wasted money on? I'm really interested to know if people have done the similar stupid things to me. As always, if you're interested in more personal finance related content, then make sure you subscribe. If you liked the video, then leave it a like. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.